This is Real Sports Talk, Rumack and the Greek, featuring Billy the Greek and Stormin Norman Rumack. Brought to you by the good people at Costa and Carpets for Life.
Hey, everybody. How the heck are you? That's good. Well, I hope you had an affirmative reply. In any case, whether you did or not, I hope you're feeling better or we'll make you feel good.
Should you say how the fuck are you?
I would never speak like that, Billy, unless it was off camera, off mic to you for all the nonsense you give me. But anyway, that's a conversation for another podcast show. Tonight with my great friend, best friend from here to Spadina Avenue, Billy Jordan.
Dundas? You know about that area?
No, my neighborhood. You know, I've shown you the goods there.
Yeah.
You like my neighborhood. Billy Georgiatsakis is the guy with the hockey night shirt. And that's a nice sweater. I've seen those before. Very nice from the old days of Hockey Night in Canada. And in any case, we're glad you're tuning us in, either live or on Facebook, whenever you like, whenever you have time. And of course, we've got an A to Z, or if you're Canadian, A to Z. If you're American, it's Z. If you're Canadian, it's Z. An A to Z type show going through almost every letter in the alphabet, covering every topic in the sports plethora of topics. You name it. World Cup soccer.
40 seconds and you didn't say nothing productive.
Yes, I did. I mentioned your name and I pronounced it correctly. You should be thanking me for that.
Get to the point. You came on here for the longest time. You told everybody Canada would beat Belgium, right? You're wrong.
Yeah.
You told everybody doubled down. Canada would beat Croatia.
I didn't say that.
You had confidence. I saw your Facebook post. No. You said Canada 2-1. So, what do you got to say for yourself?
Okay, well, first of all, in terms of Belgium, Canada outplayed Belgium by a zillion light years, Billy. A zillion. But the problem is when you're taking on a power like Belgium, they only need one or two chances, and then they can still beat you, even playing a crappy, and they've had a crappy tournament, Belgium has so far. No one's going to dispute that. Canada just wasn't clinical in finishing off their other scoring opportunity. And to be fair to Canada, look, I give the guys on that squad all the credit in the world. They're playing the best that they can. But everybody who follows footy regularly would agree. Alphonso Davies, pretty much, and you can say maybe Eustáquio, because he plays for Porto in Portugal. But especially Alphonso Davies is the only guy on that squad who could be in the starting roster of any team in Europe or anywhere else. I mean, does that mean he starts every game? Not necessarily, but could he make the roster, the varsity roster on any team? I'm just saying. So compared to Belgium, which is on paper a world-class team, and certainly Croatia is one of the super. I'm just saying. So
where did you say, and again, I'm slightly confused. So I'm going to ask you. You know your footy a little better than I. You say Belgium's a world-class side, ranked second in the nation. But if from my limited,
I don't know where they're ranked right now.
From my limited memory, Belgium's always been disappointing in international competitions. Have came out flat this year. Canada, by all rights, as you said, should have beat them 3-1. Easy. Canada should have had a result there.
So my prediction
they laid an egg against Morocco, Belgium. So maybe.
Well, even Croatia got heat from their supporters, fans, especially the coach, because the way they played or the way the lineup was set out by their coach, Dolic, for that first game. So Croatia's taken something. It's kind of like, if you're, should I say so, if you're a Leaf fan, you come into the season for several years now with high expectations, and you get really PO'd if they don't live up to but especially on the global stage, World Cup, that to most of these nations where they're born and raised on footy, this is, people think it's an exaggeration. It's not. It's right up there with religion. They go, I mean, you've seen this for years. They go too far. Some of them, not all, obviously, but you get some who start taking it to the streets.
All right. Okay. So obviously big news out of that, other than out of the disappointment that came from the last 98 or the last 88 minutes rather of the Croatia game. What were you feeling? Canada scores within a minute, and you thought, you know what? I could tell what you thought. You thought Herdman and the inspirational, inspirational commentary was the difference. Was it not? How did they come out like that?
Because I think Croatia, I think Alphonso Davies in particular, they know how good he's got. I'm telling you right now, Alphonso Davies could probably be on the Canadian men's Olympic 4x100 team. He has got, seriously, you look it up. People think I'm exact. Look it up. He's got track and field, professional Olympic level track and field speed. So he just outran, but he's done that forever since he's been with Bayern Munich. He did that against my team in the Champions League about three years ago when they were playing Chelsea. I mean, they couldn't keep up with him, but he does that. So, give Alphonso Davies some credit. But Croatia found their groove. The manager, Dolic for Croatia, changed their formations. And eventually, like within about 5 or 10 minutes after Alphonso Davies got that brilliant goal, first one for Team Canada in a World Cup, they started playing the way they're capable of, and they took over the game and they took control. I told you they got.
All right, obviously. Yeah. Do you think, given your limited expertise, do you believe that any of the Croatian and the display of fury had anything to do with?
It wasn't fury.
Well, it was tenacity.
They played.
Do you think it? So you're telling me that Herdman had a hand in that by? Because I heard what you said. You want the guy to apologize.
Yeah, I do. He should.
For what?
There's no reason to refer to Croatia as effing. It's never been done. You name me any sport, any league, any year, any decade where a manager or coach of any team, National Hockey League, Major League Baseball, NFL, CFL, go right down. Find me anytime a coach has disliked that with a word like effing another team. For no reason at all.
So in other words, have sentiments like that been said before in a dressing room?
It doesn't matter. They're said in a dressing room.
All right,
the dressing room is not a public place.
Hold on.
The dressing room has nothing to do with it.
No.
Nothing.
And Herdman's comments had nothing to do with the result either. I'm listening to
don't know that.
I'm listening to these yahoos on the soccer.
No, they're not yahoos. They know what they're talking about.
No, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yes, they do. I'm telling you right now, if I'm a Team Canada player, they'll never say so, but I'll wager my last buck. They were probably,
all right.
Let me finish. They're probably upset that Coach Herdman said that. Why? Because they're hoping that they can come under the radar. So you're
telling me yes, the Croatians had the inspiration from the comment to take their game up a level.
Their 2-goal scorer said that in the post.
All right. So in other words,
he said, yes, we are inspired by coach.
So if you need a coach to inspire you at the World Cup, you should be inspired enough. So let me ask you something. He did in his own way. Hold on, I'm talking.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the Costa Classic soon, brought to you by Costa Central Ontario Standard Association and the Carpets for Life. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at here is, you remember Marc Messier? You know Marc Messier?
I've heard of him. I actually met him once. Yeah.
All right. Marc Messier comes out and says, I guarantee a victory. You remember, hold on.
That's fine.
You remember another guy, and this is closer to your age, you remember another guy named Joe Willie Namath?
Yes.
What did he say? What did he say? He didn't use the words effing. That's the only difference. What do you want a coach to say?
And neither did Mess.
But they said the same thing.
But you don't, but here's the but. It's an important. No, this is the biggest but you'll ever hear.
Oh, jeez.
The biggest but the but is if you want to, Lord forgive me, I'm going to use a word I shouldn't, and sponsors forgive me. This is a conversation in sports.
Get to the point.
If you want to talk shit about another team, you better come through, because otherwise you look like a moron.
And there you go. Okay. And there you go.
So that's what the problem is.
Here's the problem. No, here's the problem. Yeah. The problem is you. I'm not going to call you an elitist, but you media pundits, man. And
never mind.
Hold on. You media pundits for
who in the media?
Man, all of you. Let me explain here. Well, here's my problem. I'm a man of the people. That's why the people love me. Here's the problem.
Here's
the problem. You hypocrites complain day in, day out that the athletes don't give you anything.
Never complained.
Yeah, that's all you hear.
I've never
would you rather have Herdman say, stop. I'm talking.
Find me an episode. Jordan, find me an episode where I complained about any athletes.
I'm talking about media in general.
I always got good interviews with guys because I treated them with respect. I never complained about an interview. There's only one. There's only one guy.
I don't want to know. I'm talking.
I'm saying I got great.
My stories. Here's the point.
So,
here's the point.
Thank you very
much.
much.
So in other words, we had a gentleman offer a moment of authenticity as relayed.
That's got nothing to do with authenticity.
He just, no.
Wait. You're the manager of the East York Bulldogs, and you're always
I've said the same thing.
No. You're the manager of the East York Bulldogs, and you're always talking to me, whether we're talking about East York or my Tampa Bay Rays or your Toronto Blue Jays, about respect for the game.
No.
Respect for the game. That's Billy's motto in life.
No.
And how is
not.
saying effing, in this case it was correct.
What do you want him to say?
Just say they're a great team and we hope to give them a
So in other words, lies. So in other words, a guy was finally.
That's not authentic. That's being dumb. It's a dumb comment from a coach.
No, it wasn't.
It's a dumb comment.
It was an honest. They asked him. No, you're not letting me finish, man. They asked him specifically, what did you say to your boys? That's what they asked him. That was the question. What did you say to your boys? And the guy give an honest account.
He should have said, we're expecting a tough game against a great team. That's what he should have said. Because as I said, you can't find me another manager, another coach, baseball, hockey, football, soccer, cricket, who's ever said.
So he's responsible for the loss?
Well, he put more pressure on his players because I'm sure Team Canada wanted to go under the radar.
So the reason the Croatians scored 4 is because Herdman used that for it.
Well, he sure didn't help them, did he?
He should have, but he didn't. Take it easy, bud. But when he scored the first one in 2 minutes and you're waving your Canada flag, what'd you say? Herdman for president. Inspired his team.
What did
you say?
I said there's 87 minutes left in regulation
you didn't.
time.
When they scored the first,
because I watch footy and you don't.
All right, but I'm still a sports guy through and through. I was there with Rossi in '82, pal. I don't watch footy.
What?
I don't watch footy consistently.
You were there with Rossi. You were wearing.
I don't watch consistently.
I was watching Rossi.
I don't watch consistently, but I watch enough to know what I'm talking about.
So what's that got to do? What's that got to do with Italy '82 and Paulo Rossi?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you let me talk, let me finish a sentence
maybe.
for once.
Maybe.
All right. The point of the matter is. The point of the matter is, in the competition, did Herdman's comments bring more theater to the production? Did it bring more hype? Did it bring more energy to the game?
The wrong kind of theater.
Why was it the wrong? Say they won 4-1. Would you say the same thing?
You're putting more pressure on your
You're
players.
You're the World Cup. You're putting pressure.
Yes, that's right. You are putting pressure because Croatia.
No, they love him. You ask every guy on that club, they'll love him for that comment.
They're not going to say, but they don't appreciate him calling Croatia effing. Because that's going to piss off. It's going to piss off an entire country, which it does.
You didn't call them fucking idiots. You didn't call them retard. You said effing club. Like
that's worse. He said effing Croatia. He's talking about a whole country.
No, he's talking about the soccer side. We're going to go and mess them up. Here's what I'm saying.
There's no need to say that. If you want to mess them up, do it when you're playing. Do it on the scoreboard. That's how you mess them up. Not lighting a candle under them day before the game.
Would you like, again, and a lot of the commentators have come under flag because they didn't say a word prior to the loss, but they blamed the entirety of the loss on Herdman.
You check, on my Facebook page right after the comment came out, I addressed it.
Nobody agreed with you.
I don't give a rat's ass if nobody agrees with me now.
You're a dinosaur. You're a dinosaur.
Good, I'm proud. I'm the best dinosaur that Billy's ever known.
You're a dinosaur.
That's right. I should be getting a place in the Royal Ontario.
Look, you should be getting a place.
Never mind. But I'm right. Never mind. Dinosaur or whatever. I'm right. I know when I'm right. No other manager coach has ever done this before in a major competition, amateur, professional, and again, you talk about.
It's just refreshing
right.
to see a man
and one of your rivals in your baseball.
Go ahead.
You know what I said?
You know what I said? Here, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
We were playing Etobicoke, final game of the regular season, right? And we were to match up with them in the Elims game 1.
Right.
So I made a pitching change.
Yeah.
I made a pitching change, and I'm walking out to the mound.
Yeah, your player didn't like it or something.
I made a pitching change, walking out to the mound, and all the Etobicoke roster is yelling this, that, the other.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, boys? Come Thursday, we're going to F you up. And I walked away.
Yeah,
they beat us 3-1. They beat me, but I put my money there.
What's the big difference? The difference is your opponent, Etobicoke, you said, instigated. Okay? Nobody on Croatia.
How do you know? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I do know.
You don't know what
nobody from Croatia said a single bad word about Canada. There was no reason for
What's the midfielder's name on Croatia?
They got
What's
got
his name? The big guy.
Kovacic.
Not the big guy.
What do you mean the big guy?
The big guy. The world class guy.
All right. So you're talking about Modric.
Modric.
Modric is a superstar. He plays for Real Madrid.
Right. So there was rumors that Modric was talking smack. That this, I don't know.
Rumors from who?
I don't know. Those were the rumors.
There's no rumors. I've never seen it written anywhere. He wouldn't talk like that because he never talked.
So in other words, it's too much of a classy game. Soccer's too classy to.
It's got nothing to do with a classy game. I'm just saying
you finally got somebody that's quotable. You got somebody that stood up and you don't like them.
I couldn't give a crap if they're quotable or not quotable.
You're gonna have a conniption. Relax at your age. You take it easy. Breathe a little, man. Breathe a little.
That's why I love Billy because he really does care about me.
So you honestly,
even though he doesn't show it all.
So you honestly had a big problem.
Yeah,
you had a big You had a big problem not only with the word, with the use, but you think it had an effect on the outcome of the game. That's what you're telling me. And I disagree. You know what? Jesus Christ could have came. Hold on.
Well,
Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter because it's advantageous for him to say it.
It's not advantageous.
That's how he's rubbing it back. He's saying, yeah, this, that, the other. Jesus Christ could have came down and could have given that pregame talk, postgame talk, and Canada was not beating Croatia. In 2022, Canada's not ready to compete at that level and beat Croatia. It doesn't matter what the coach said. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, they sure gave Belgium a hard time, didn't they?
Yeah, but Belgium, from what I saw, is the worst club in the group by far, and they're one of the worst clubs so far to this point in time that I've seen visually in my eyes. Croatia's going to destroy them. Belgium's a fraud. De Bruyne is invisible. He had the worst game. They got nobody else on that team that stood out for me for 1 second of time, other than the guy that scored. Semi-clinical finish. Belgium is an overrated squad. They've never won nothing. They've never won nothing in their lives, and they continue to show they're underwhelming in the biggest spots. Are you surprised? I told you. Belgium, you had Belgium like they're kings. Yes, I told you.
Well, because because
they play in Europe. Because they play in the Premiership. Okay, Norm. They play the Premiership in La Liga. They must be good.
Belgium doesn't play in the Premiership.
Where do they play? Their players don't play in the Premiership?
Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
Yeah. And Michy Batshuayi is what Chelsea player on.
All right. So there you go. So if you don't play in Europe in the higher leagues, let's forget about these CONCACAF.
Well,
let's forget about the USA.
The truth of the matter is the best players do play, including
where?
Alphonso
On Belgium?
Davies.
In Belgium they play? You see anybody on that Belgium team that impressed you these two games? Has it been not the most?
Thibaut Courtois is one of the best keepers in the world. Okay, he did get beat by one good corner. Okay, but that's not. But no, he is one of the best keepers.
All right, any of those 11 players impress you? Is Belgium the most disappointing team in the tournament so far? Yes or no?
Yes, they are.
And is it the first time?
No.
So history's repeated, much like your Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll get into that.
What's this got to do with Croatia?
I'll tell you what it's got to do.
Tell me what.
You're telling me, and you told everybody, you guys continue to have this arrogance that European football is so far superior to CONCACAF, to everything else, and it's not. It's not. I saw the USA club. I saw a USA club play the world champion English side, and they had the better of the game for the entirety of the 90 minutes. Was I imagining things? So you tell me the biggest difference between where quality soccer's played. You guys in your Premiership and your Serie A and your arrogance, you think everything is in Europe.
So you tell me why?
MLS,
tell me why do the best players go there then?
Because they pay money, man. That's where they generate the biggest revenue.
Well, I'm hearing that Lionel Messi might be playing for David Beckham's MLS team in Miami.
What I'm trying to get at is continuously.
It's not about money.
Hold on, let me finish. Yeah. What I'm telling you, especially in the world of soccer and other sports, we give a lot of credit to the country. Like, for example, automatically you close your eyes and you talk to anybody, and we'll get off this football in a second, I assure you. When you close your eyes and you talk to anybody, you talk about the German national team. Automatically in your head, you consider Germany a threat, and automatically you consider Germany a good side.
They haven't played like it, but they are a threat. Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that's a threat for a lot of these clubs is the country and their jersey they're from. That's the threat. Germany hasn't been a threat for years. You've seen, you saw this Belgium club. You've seen a lot of other clubs. All I'm telling you is there's more hype in the back of the jersey and some of the players than there is success of the country.
You think Spain and France are overhyped?
Huh? I didn't say Spain and France.
Well, but they're European countries.
I didn't say
they have their own.
French is European. No, French is it.
Bonjour.
Yeah. Parlez-vous, man. Países πολύ malacos, man. And tell us,
I took French to grade 8. How about you?
Je m'appelle, ils sont, elles sont. Vous avez? Nous avons.
Comment allez-vous, Billy?
Comment allez-vous? So the long and the short of it, when you take 2022 and you look back, because obviously the Morocco games just for pride, right? What do you take away from this if you're a Canadian sports fan that's fallen in love with soccer? And Canada won the Davis Cup, by the way. Smart enough. Did you know that?
Yes.
You don't even.
I saw the highlights yesterday.
Eh?
So there.
Canada won the Davis Cup. That makes up for the soccer.
I saw
Canada
that.
Davis Cup. You know how big that is? Pretty big, Norman.
I know. They won it. I saw them celebrate.
Bigger than that
champagne.
schnoz of yours, man.
Oh.
Holy jeez.
But not as greasy as your feathers on
This
top
is not
there.
grease, pal. I told you
And
for
this
the last time.
I've offered to give you a nice
No, this
brush.
is paste. It's paste. It's not grease.
What's the paste made out of?
Paste.
It's made out of chicken wings from here.
It's
at
paste.
the Bottom Line Restaurant. 22
The Costa
Brent Street.
Classic will be right
22
back.
Brent Street.
Costa Classic, keep it down. We'll be right back. Oh, jeez, Norman. You have to go rile me up.
Cup and Saucer 54 lining up on the gate. Up the credit. Mox Beach Boy, Hillbilly Hanover, Archon, Lulu's Boy. Proven Lover, Escape the News, Savannah Splendor, in back, Smoking Bear. Showtime! They're up and pacing in Cup and Saucer 54. Archon leaving out. In at the rail, Mox Beach Boy. Up the credit, guarding the inside. Then racing fourth, Smoking Bear. Hillbilly Hanover on the outside, fifth. Lulu's Boy, sixth. Then in seventh, Escape the News. Pacing from eighth, that's Proven Lover. Savannah Splendor, ninth. Going to the quarter pole. Up the credit at the rail. And there's a brouhaha in the Cup and Saucer. Opening quarter. Boom! Just like that. 26-2. Up the credit at the rail, the leader. Archon is parked out. Pacing third. Mox Beach Boy. Smoking Bear fourth. Hillbilly Hanover fifth on the outside. Lulu's Boy sixth. Escape the News on the outside seventh. Proven Lover is eighth. Trailing on the outside. Savannah Splendor three high. Into the turn they go. Making the front now. Archon up the credit is second. Wow! 53-2 for an opening half mile. Archon and Jason Ryan on the lead, and he's clear from the outside. Hillbilly Hanover. Here comes Campbell and Escape the News. Three high on the outside third. Up the credit fourth. 3/4. Amazing. 1:21.4. They got a shot at the track record. They got a shot at the Canadian record. Gold Cup and Saucer 54. Mark Campbell and Escape the News. And at the rail, Hillbilly Hanover. Mark Campbell has won the Gold Cup and Saucer. Escape the News, a driving quadruple. Hillbilly Hanover is second. Archon is third. One.
By now, you know the name COSA TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Hello, everybody, once again.
Hello,
Welcome
everybody.
back to the show.
After you just
I'm Stormin Rumack, the teller of the truth. I don't mean like, I'm not mean to copyright Allen Iverson. I just mean the teller of the, and
My
there
Gooch.
goes the Gooch, who I just lectured, like I did you, about the previous topic. But, you know, we have to move on. That's what Billy told me. And our esteemed producer, we got to give him some credit here. Jordan, the one and only Jordan LaRoche.
that's a
right.
top name, eh, LaRoche?
The producer's producer,
Yeah.
right?
He does a really good job.
Yeah, he
too.
produces all
And
the shows here.
and he keeps the Gooch in line too. And
And never mind him. Well, more so Gooch. I was going to say they keep you in line, don't they? No, not really.
Not easier said than done, pal.
Okay, so I guess we've got to move on, and that includes. So we'll see what happens long run. But anyways, I'm glad we had that pleasant, peaceful,
There's no pleasant.
intellectual
There's no
discussion.
pleasant and peaceful intellectual. Again, just to close it,
relax,
I'm
I'm
right.
just
You're
kidding.
wrong. The guy,
yeah.
the guy just give a little bit off-color remark, and
Yeah,
you know what?
it's
It
not
blew up.
off-color.
But in the end, what sports, man? What sports? What is sports meant to do, Norm Rumack?
Entertain, but
And
doesn't-
hold on,
yeah,
did it add to the entertainment value? Might have been not successful.
not
for
that
Canada.
word. No, not that.
No?
That word's not
It did-
entertainment.
It
no.
wasn't.
No,
You didn't enjoy the post in the paper and all the
No.
stuff that came from it.
no.
All the
I
attention
didn't
that came
enjoy
from
it. No, it's unnecessary attention.
Ah,
If you want attention, play your ass
You know
off
what?
like a Canadian team. They
Yeah.
try their hardest.
See,
I'm
that's
saying,
the difference
you
between
wanna-
because you're a fourth line guy. You're not a showman. You don't need attention. All you need
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
You're a humble guy, fourth
So-
line. You're not a first line top
Yeah,
top guy like
so
me.
why,
right?
when you were, let's see if I get this right. I was 11 years old. You used to listen to my show.
Eh?
Did you not?
And you know what? I was smarter then than you than today, man. You know what? I got dumb over the years. I was a sharp kid at 11, man. Now
I know.
don't
That's why you listened to my show, because you were a sharp kid at 11.
You know what I listen to your show for, honest to God?
Yeah.
Is because of things you can't recreate, and I'm glad I can bring it out in you because it was missing for a little bit in your life, and that's the truth.
Well,
is the passion, the intensity, and the love and the joy.
Yeah.
Because anybody that ever hears you or listens to you know you have passion, you have love, and
Yeah.
you have joy,
Well,
and people
okay.
love that authenticity because you're not making it up.
Yeah.
Right? That's who
That's
you
right.
are.
Yeah.
And people love you for
Well-
that. Even to this day, I had a guy ask me, "You work
Yeah.
with Rumack, this, that, the other." So,
Yeah.
so obviously, Norma, I take nothing away from you as a person and as somebody that's authentic, but your base of sports, as I mentioned last week, is extremely limited in comparison to mine. You're here to protect me. I'm Matthews, pal.
And-
I'm Matthews. You're Simmons. Get used
And
to
all
it.
I was asking, aside from the generous check you get me, is an occasional plate of wings and veggie sticks, Billy. That's not asking too much. All right. Anyways, I think we've been at the footy.
Yeah, for
the
far
footy-
too long. We're supposed to
footy
condense the
fest.
show into 40 minutes, and it's already 7:30, man. We haven't
Okay,
got into
so we had a
anything
good
else. All
half
right,
hour.
man.
Okay, so NHL or NFL? Your pick.
I'm gonna go.
All right,
Obviously, I'm gonna go with the resurgent
Yeah, Maple Leafs. Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Uh-huh.
Not only a Maple Leaf team
Yeah.
that you and others continuously early on in the year have ridden a bus over. You rode the bus over Kiefer. You rode the bus over Matthews, over Marner, over
I
everybody.
didn't ride any bus
And
over
here's what's happening. The Leafs
You're
have
full of
once again
crap.
shown you. Hold on, I'm talking. Once again, the Leafs have shown you the following.
Yeah.
That they are historically, and it's proven, and again this year,
What?
they're an upper echelon regular season NHL club.
Yeah. So what's so new about that?
What do you mean? What's so new about that?
They've been upper echelon regular season since.
And
the-
again,
this-
that's what I told you 2 months ago. Relax. They lost three in a row early in the year. They came off a West Coast trip, and all you guys wanted to do is lose your minds and pass it. Relax. The Greek was right. Relax. They'll be back in November, and they're back. So obviously, I know what I'm talking
as
about.
you said, the operative words too were regular season. But Leaf fans, Billy, because they're patient, they've been waiting a long time. They want the thing that they're riding on is not the regular. They
No.
I mean, it would
And
be
that's the
great.
fickle hockey town here. If the Wings beat the Leafs 6-1 tonight, despite that Matthews opener tied at 1,
Yeah.
if the Wings beat the Leafs
2-1,
6
by the way,
for
the Leafs
who?
now.
The big blue machine?
Yes.
There you go. 2-1 Norma Rumack with the update. But see, Detroit comes back and wins 6-2.
Yeah.
People are going to want Keith Fire tomorrow.
Maybe.
They're going to want to, and that's what I'm getting at.
But it's
People-
always been like that.
Yeah, but people live and die on every period, every game.
But how
And
is that? How is honestly, in all seriousness, how is that different in terms of Maple Leaf fans reacting by the moment to, let's just for an example, New York Yankees fans or Philadelphia
But
or Dallas Cowboys fans? Are they really any different?
No, they're not different, but
Yeah.
Leaf fans have a tendency to forget. Because when you're talking about the Yankees, the difference is the Yankees been winning left, right, and center for years.
Yeah.
Right? The Yankees
Well,
have
although
had
they hadn't had one a World
yeah,
Series
but they
in
still had
2009. I
they've
know,
still had
historically,
they've
yeah.
had upper echelon clubs,
Yeah.
so all the clubs you
Yeah.
speak of. Frankly, for the Leafs and their sordid history, this is one of
Yeah.
the better clubs they've had this year and the last year, despite the playoff failures that they've had in their 50-year history. So there should
regular season, yeah.
there should be a balance between enjoying the regular season of product and the playoffs on two separate hands. You can do both. You can enjoy the regular season and the successes and still have expectations in the playoffs. It's not one or the other.
But
pal.
here, let me take you back to last year. Okay, so one of your passions in life is, or the most maybe, is your Dallas Cowboys. But so I'll ask you, with that in mind, about enjoying the regular season. Okay, what were your comments when Dallas lost that play? Jerry Jones, bye-bye, or Jerry, go coach the team. So much. You were justifiably so PO'd about how they lost a playoff game.
Yeah, but I wasn't PO'd in week 2, man.
No, you weren't.
That's
But my point is, at that point, with the playoff failure, disappointment, the way it was lost, at that point in time for you, Billy, the regular season didn't mean I won't use the F word. Didn't use a damn thing. How's that?
First of all, the regular season couldn't mean much because there wasn't any individual success from a historical perspective. Yeah. Cowboys didn't go 15-1. Okay. They didn't run tables. They were just an average to above average club that got in the playoffs and played a terrible game against the 49ers. Okay. Now, nobody likes to lose. Leaf fans don't like to lose. All I'm telling you, they don't give the Stanley Cup away in November.
I know that.
And if they did, the Leafs might have had it by now.
No, but Billy, I've said that all along.
So just relax. As I told you, people ask me some years, who are the most important players in the Leaf on the Leaf roster? And I told you guys, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, if you listen to me, the two most important guys are Liljegren and Sandin on the Toronto Maple Leaf roster. That's why they haven't been traded. That's why they're there. Maple Leafs and the success of the Maple Leafs is predicated on one thing, and that's having contributions, multiple contributions from low salary earners. Given the fact you've allocated the majority of your money on 4 guys up front, you need to find diamonds in the rough that can play you 20 minutes in the back end for $800,000 a year. And if you don't have those kind of guys, you can't win. And the Leafs season solely will fall on how good the combination of Liljegren and Sandin play moving forward.
Well, I just got to mention one other thing. Your best friend, your hero,
Jimmy Devellino?
He doesn't play for the Leafs.
No? Rick Dudley?
Another great friend of mine. And they've been on, Rick's been a multi-time guest on this show.
How about Paul Molitor?
Paul Molitor has been a multi-time, at least twice, on this show. They're great guys. And they, I wouldn't say.
Can I call them friends too?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask them. Or if I can quote them, never mind.
I said, let me thank them. You don't even give me their name. They said, how'd you end up with that?
No. But it's like we know. It's not, there's no crime in it. The Maple Leaf fans, the thing that they're riding the wave on is they want to see, they've seen the regular season. They know how good Austin and Mitch are, right? They know all that. But I got to point out to you, you wanted Mr. Nylander going on like a rowboat to Sweden or something, and here he is. He's up in the top. He's up in the top goals and assists, not the top, but up there in the top 5 in goals and assists for your Toronto Maple Leafs. So you figure, what did you inspire him, Billy?
I don't know if he listens to the show, but I'll tell you this. And I'll be honest. I've been, from the time I started this back with Tilly in a bar in Newcastle 4 years ago. I've been the rather vociferous, like that, eh?
Yeah, you might
in
say
terms of my distaste
for
one
Nylander,
William. And I'll tell you this, I've sworn at him on the TV less and less this year.
Did on this show.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's an interesting little point. I don't know if people caught that. The other game, Nylander gives a giveaway, breakaway, what happened? And he comes back to the bench and he smashes his stick. That's the first time in 4 years I've seen some emotion. And you know what? Little glimpses like that. And again, no matter what that man does moving forward, to a lot of people, he'll always be a disappointment because we just wish that he showed as much heart as he has talent. Sometimes we don't see that and we're disappointed. It's like, when you see a guy like that with an abundance of talent, you just wish he would have a little rat in him, a little dog in him,
But that's not to say he still can't maybe
be a soft 30. But who do we love? Like when you think about Leaf fans historically, who do they love, man?
Well,
who do they love? They love Dougie. Why? Because Dougie was a dog. They love Wendell because Wendell was a dog. They love Boria because Boria was a dog. It's hard as a fan to fall in love with a guy who doesn't have any dog in him. That's all I'm telling you from a lot of Leaf fans.
Well, okay.
Sure, the kid's got talent. Nobody said otherwise.
Yeah.
But we want to see, Leaf fans want to see dog. You know what we want to see? We want to see a surprising level of effort and intensity that hasn't been displayed except when the young man goes and plays in the World Championships. That's
All
what
right.
Leaf fans are asking.
Okay,
It's
but
not a lie.
I'm just saying you can't argue with his points contribution so far.
Did
this
you not
year.
hear what I said?
I did hear what you
Are
said,
you
but I'm just saying.
Do you ever
that
listen to the Greek when he talks?
once in a
Or are
while?
you in your own head, man? Are you thinking back to your glory days at the Fan when you were
No,
the,
I was thinking
when you were
about
the
no,
sheriff?
I was thinking about the fight I had with the guy. Remember the guy who?
Yeah, like really, man, like really. And I
I was
begrudgingly
thinking when he cross-checked me like that, Billy. So I gave him his money's
don't
worth.
you
I'll
dare
tell
put
you.
your hands on me again, man.
Why?
I don't
I'm
wanna
just giving
get
you a pat on the back. What's
a pat in the back and a kick in the ass. That's a couple feet away. Anyways, here's what I'll get at.
Yeah.
The William Nylander's been a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah.
The goaltending combination, and again,
Yeah.
I was the jury was out on the Murray acquisition.
Yeah.
So far, it's proved beneficial. But
Okay.
again, this can all change in a month from now.
That's right.
They can all fall on their face,
Yep.
and you can say, "Oh my God, we need Riley. Oh my God, this, that, the other."
Yeah.
Deadline. And that's what it is. You
Okay.
don't know. You can't predict the future. The only thing it'd be a safe bet to say
Yeah.
is the Leafs will qualify for the postseason
Well,
tournament
yeah.
in the Stanley Cup playoffs,
Barring-
and then the real conversation starts, right?
Well, yeah, that's fair. But I'm saying, but Leaf fans want to see the end result, the one that they are craving, the one that the only thing they
Yeah,
really
man.
care about is the postseason.
But here's
That's the way it goes.
But before you crave it so much, but here's what I learned. I'm a pretty wise guy too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta forget the destination, Norm Rumack. You're thinking about
What? Enjoy the trip?
the journey, baby.
Yeah, but the
journey.
problem
Enjoy the
has
journey,
been
baby.
the journey has concluded
Here's
for the
what-
last
but here's-
almost 20
here's
years
the
on
difference.
April 10th or whatever.
Here's what
yeah.
here's the difference. The difference in the journey
Yeah.
in this year of Leaf hockey is the
Yeah.
journey also consists with some of the best players in the hockey
Yeah,
landscape.
that's right.
That's a big difference because historically the Leafs hadn't had a top 10 player in the league for the
Well-
last 40 years. All right, we make a
All right,
case for
Sittler was
all
up
right,
there.
Sittler maybe.
Dougie Gilmore was
all
up
right for
there.
1
Yeah.
year. You can make a
Yeah.
case that Sittler was a top 10 player in this, maybe. But when we're talking about upper echelon players,
Well,
you can
Salming was for sure.
yeah, in his spot.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about upper echelon players, the Leafs, for the long and the short of it, in terms of their history, have been deprived of individual talent at that level, at the top level.
Okay,
like we're not talking
in the era of Mario and Gretz.
Yeah, and
yes.
that's the last 40 years. That's
and
as much
Crosby even, yeah.
as right.
Yeah.
And so all I'm telling people is to mitigate their anxiety with some pleasure. That the fact they get to see some generational players instead of guys like me who grew up with, God bless them, Danny Daou, Bill Derlego, Billy
All
Berg, and guy, all right, whatever.
But-
But still, you have generational players.
Yeah.
Enjoy them because before you know it, take away Matthews and Marner from this team, and you know what you're
Right.
going to have. Hold on, Rumack.
Yeah.
You're going to go back to the '83
No,
Stone Age.
but hang on. To be fair, Billy, the 4-time Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs from the 60s.
Who cares about the '60s? There was three teams.
Let me make my point. No, there were 6 teams. Thank you very much. So let me make my point.
Not more 60s talk,
Those teams, because there's a parallel here, Billy, but you've got to be patient. You've got to be patient for only about another 20 minutes. The parallel is, okay, the Leafs had a couple of exceptional, like Hall of Fame, like top of the league. We're talking about
Yeah.
going up against Chicago, Detroit, Montreal in terms of like Gordie Howe, Jean Beliveau. Davey Keon was as good as there was in terms of skating,
Okay.
two-way play.
How was Howie
Okay,
Meeker?
he was before my time. He was rookie of the year.
All right.
And he was
so
a great, no, but seriously, okay. So the Leafs had several Hall
So
of
now-
Famers, but I'm saying compared to Montreal of that era,
right.
even Chicago, they had Bobby Hull, okay, and stuff.
Look,
I'm just saying the Leafs weren't quite as glamorous as some of the teams they beat. They were very good. They had Hall of Famers,
but
they
that's
didn't have a Gordie Howe or a
no,
Bobby Hull.
They,
right? That's my point.
they were, and historically, the Leafs have always been the resilient underdog type.
Overachievers.
And
if
you know
anything, in
what?
the playoffs,
And,
yeah.
and that's right. And
Yeah.
and now the tables turned.
Yeah.
They're underachievers.
That's
right.
right. Yeah,
but
that's
they're
right.
underachievers. But also, here's what I would kind of compare it to the Detroit Red Wings. And again, no comparison between the Leafs and the Wings, but kind of the similar journeys where the Red Wings for a long time went out in the first round. Had a lot. I'm not saying the
couple
Leafs.
years. It was 2
it
years,
was
yeah.
it was a long time. They were thinking about trading Yzerman at one point in time. They were thinking about making big
Well,
moves.
Scotty Bowman was, yeah.
Same with Washington
Actually,
with
they weren't-
Ovechkin. Sometimes
okay.
to build a champion, sometimes
Yeah.
it takes time. We're on
Yeah.
year 5, 6. Leaf fans are impatient. Will this year be a breakthrough year? I don't know. I'm not going to go on a limb
Yeah.
and say it. But you know what? In the world of sports,
Yeah.
stranger things have happened because here's sports is a funny thing like this. Let me explain to you and to you people out there that sometimes, and I've had the least amount of confidence in this Leaf team that I've had over the last 4 years. You've seen
You mean the management or the team?
No, the team. You've seen me. I've been enthusiastic of their chances over the last few years.
Yeah.
This is as least enthusiastic as I've been in the Leafs' chances for postseason success. And the way the sports world works is this is the time they'll actually make a run. You understand? That's how the world of sports. That's how the
could
world
work that way.
Yeah,
but
and it will. And that's how
just like last year the Rams, right? Nobody was count. Well, nobody was.
Yeah.
You weren't counting on the Rams.
And again, when we talk about Toronto hockey, let's reserve judgment, good or bad. Even if they win the next 15 in a row, your opinion's not going to change. My opinion's not going to change. If they lose 10 in a row, my opinion's not going to change. Here's when my opinion will take shape, if you will. And that's after the trade deadline.
Okay.
When I see how the team looks after the trade deadline, because frankly, if you ask me as a bet man, can this club as compiled now win 16 games in the playoffs?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
They could win a round, but I can't.
They can't win 16, man.
No,
I can't see
the
that
defense.
defense.
They've got, aside from their injuries, their defense just isn't strong.
I
enough
can't
right
see
now.
that defense winning 16 games, and I can't see those bottom six players being the guys that I turn to in games 4, 5, 6, and in spots, right?
Yeah.
So again, we'll see what the Leaf roster looks like, because again, you think we're excited. You think Leaf fans are. Sheldon Keefe and Kyle Dubas are managing and coaching for their jobs and their lives.
Of course they are. They don't do something this year, they're in trouble.
So they're going to pull all strings, right? As much as they can, right?
Well,
do you think they're stupid and they don't realize this is not a championship club? But what are you going to do about it?
Well, they don't know for sure what they think. I mean, you can't. Who knows what? I don't know what they think. You don't
It's
hear.
not a championship. They've been in hockey for years.
Yeah.
If I've been on my couch, they've been in the rinks. If they can't see this is not a championship
Well,
club,
I'm sure
then
they-
without
yeah.
additions, they're going to have to make some additions. Can they pull it out? Can
I
little
don't know.
Kyle make the moves necessary?
We'll
Time will
find
tell.
out. Okay,
All
so
right.
we're gonna
Before we get there, we're going to talk to the carpet man, and we're going to come
the
back.
king
with
of
NFL.
carpets, Nikki.
Nikki Borch. King of carpets, right back with the NFL, and we're going to close it up with Norm's Monday Nighter. No.
Welcome to Carpets for Life. For over 30 years, we have been servicing both residential and commercial clients in the sales and installation of custom stair runners on wall-to-wall areas. Our team prides itself in honesty with a regard of professionalism and customer satisfaction. Our many testimonials and continuous referrals is a testament of the quality of workmanship we provide. We strive to ensure a happy customer is a Carpets for Life customer.
Okay, thanks, Nikki Borsch.
Hey, carpets for life.
King of. There's only one king of carpets, and that's Nikki.
Do you think?
And he, by the way, agrees with a lot of the things I say. I don't know if you've
Do you
noticed
think?
that on Facebook.
Do you think was Nikki Borsch responsible for the carpeting at Have a Nap Motel? Do you know?
Which?
Eh?
What-
Have you
what
ever
are you
stayed at
talking
Have a Nap?
Have a nap. It sounds like a comfortable resting place.
Eh?
Where is it located, Bill?
On
Tell
the
us.
Kingston Road Strip. Have you ever been down that way?
No. How much does it cost for a day room?
Eh?
How much?
What
is
do you
a
like,
day room?
Norm? The Have a Nap or the Americana?
Well, wait. I don't speak all of your linguistics.
No.
So you're talking about an Americano, like
You're-
a Starbucks drink?
Here's where you're from Syracuse. I'm from Have a Nap, man. Billy.
I know
Billy
what have a nap refers
Have a
to,
nap
but I don't
and
think they just
Syracuse
go there.
University. How the two roads have collided, man. I can't believe it. Anyways, it's a pleasure.
Did
as
you ever
always.
have a nap at Have a Nap?
Unfortunately, man.
No.
If I could, I was like in the blinds a little bit too
Oh,
much
okay.
in the peephole, but that's a whole different
All right,
story.
so let's talk about the parody.
You know about
Here we
the
go.
people, eh?
National Football League. So did Billy Georgitsakis, with his wagering wonders, exploits too, in the NFL, did the one and only Billy Georgitsakis ever expect NFC East, AFC East to be closer than a hair and a freckle, and NFC South to be completely
No, who could have? I could have. Obviously, when you're trying to handicap football, it's hard enough to handicap it on a week-to-week basis, let alone looking back 12, 13 weeks. If there's one program, one guy anywhere, I'd love to see him, man. I'd love to meet the person that was visionary enough to tell me that all 4 NFC East teams would make the playoffs. You know what the odds of that going into the regular season? They had to be like winning a Lotto Max. Jordan, can we get the odds on that, please? All 4 teams making the playoffs from the NFC East coming into the regular season.
or the
Right? I don't know. What would you say? That'd probably be 1,000,000 to 1, would it not?
or as you call them, the Commandos. Who would have predicted they'd be respectable? The Commandos.
Commandos at this point in time, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, right? 4 NFC teams, and then you might get all 4 from the AFCs, which the reason that might not happen is because the NFC East, they play each other a lot down the stretch, and unless you got to also figure that given the ineptitude of other clubs, all you got to beat is the loser of Seattle, San Francisco, and Arizona, right? So don't be surprised. It's been an unbelievable.
And probably more surprising. Well, I'll see what you think. More surprising than the NFC East got to be the AFC East. That was supposed to be a cakewalk for Buffalo, no? I mean, they're playing pretty well, but I'm saying
yes and no, like going into the season, but also when you hear glimpses that Tyreek Hill's going to Miami and Miami's making those changes and they're adding talent, you feel that.
Okay, but Belichick's team has come along faster than we thought.
Absolutely,
bit, right?
But even Belichick's club made the playoffs last year. So again, and it is Bill Belichick. The surprise, obviously, there's the New York Football Jets. With Mitch White coming in for Zach Wilson. He looked like the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? If I'm Zach Wilson, I'm feeling like Joe Pitt, man, like Wally Pipp, rather, that I might never get to play again. What a seismic difference between clubs. But then again, one game was played in New England and the other was at home against the Bears. So we'll see how the Mitch White era moves forward for the Jets. But even to be 7-4 is unheard of. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable.
Yeah. So,
unbelievable.
But you're still, in terms of your wagering forecast against the spread. So your numbers have taken a bit of a dip, but not a lot. Right?
I've never had a worse year. Handicapping football. The record, but again, when you figure the record's 40 wins, 30 losses, and 3 drives, a lot of people will take that and be very happy. But that's not the level that I've set for myself. That's not how I broke into this, but I'm finding this year extremely challenging.
So if you had to do your wagers over again, I don't mean like, oh yeah, I should have known that or I did know that. I mean, is there anything week by week that you would have changed that?
Yeah, I would have never, ever touched the Denver Broncos. Every week I have this conversation with myself in the car. I have a smoke. I light up. I'm ready to do my preview. And I'm saying, is this the week that we're going to see the Russell Wilson actually come and play football? And every week's the same. Like, I watch the football because I don't have the NFL package. I watch it on ESPN. You know where they show the little score in the football?
So you don't get the red zone thing?
No, I can't afford it. Okay. So, bad times. Bankruptcy. Anyways, so I'm watching the little ticker, and it's showing Russell Wilson incomplete. For 3rd and 10, 2nd and 10, 4th and 10, Russell Wilson sack.
A lot of times he's missing open targets.
Russell Wilson fumble. And I'm asking myself, man, you're playing the Carolina dirty stinking Panthers with Darnold that hasn't played in a year, with nothing happening. You can't name 2 players on that Carolina team, and they go in there and lay another egg, Denver. The most disappointing team by far. The question you ask yourself is the Russell Wilson experiment a costly one? They give up half the franchise, Denver, for that guy. Is it over? Can they move on from Russell Wilson in 1 year, or would you have some kind of patience or to wait and see? What's wrong with this guy?
I mean, guys don't usually. How old is Russell now?
30s.
Okay, guys in their 30s don't usually get better. They may, if they fall off, they may improve a little bit.
But to this degree?
I don't. That's the problem. That's why you see a lot of professional sports teams in a lot of sports. You name it: baseball, football, hockey, soccer. I know some soccer teams that if you're 30, unless you're an exceptional player, they're going to give you 1 or maximum 1 plus an option contract because there almost always is a fall off and the injuries take longer.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Where if you go position by position, fine. But historically in NFL, people play. You see Brady in his 40s, Rodgers in his late 30s.
Yeah.
So the quarterback position is the only one that escapes father time a little bit. And Russell Wilson, in comparison to these guys, not that old. Yeah. The question is, he looks nothing like the player that he looked to Seattle.
Yeah.
Mobility, arm strength. Either this guy's hurt, or I've never seen in my history, I can't remember a perennial Pro Bowler that's fallen off the map this quickly. And again, not a lot of talent in Denver from the wide receiver spot, Jerry Jeudy out. But I can't, even when Jeudy was in, doesn't matter. This guy was terrible. I've never said, I can't compare anything to this year, to Russell Wilson.
And No, but is it possible that Seattle, I don't know, using whatever they use, saw something like just beyond the horizon, this is the time to make a move.
If
right?
they did, God bless them, because they had inside information on something that we're seeing now. If they made that move with that kind of foresight, kudos to them. And whoever was responsible in that decision-making process should get a big raise.
Yeah,
right?
well, but
Because they got a king's ransom in return, like in terms of players, draft picks. Seattle's set up for the future, and they got a better record than Denver, and they're fighting for the playoffs in the middle of a rebuild.
What every GM most GMs in sports will tell you: if you're going to move a guy, move him just as much as you can, just ahead of the fall off, right? At least that way you max your return, as opposed to sentimentally, he's a lifer with our team. The fans will be upset. If you make the tough decisions,
Here's the narrative. Here's the narrative that's fascinating. Geno Smith in consideration for the Pro Bowl. Russell Wilson looking to retire.
Well, there you go.
You could have if you could have told me this 12, 14 weeks ago. You know what? If I'm not that smart, man, not many people are, man. Who could have saw it coming? Nobody could have saw it coming, man. Nobody could have saw it. The only thing that, again, Philadelphia beat Green Bay in the Sunday Nighter 40-33. Suspect. And again, as I said over the last few weeks, you got Philadelphia, Dallas, San Francisco. Outside shot because they're hosting a home playoff game is Tampa Bay. Other than that there's nothing else in the NFC. Minnesota, nothing to look at. Worst 9-2 club ever. AFC is still wide open, is it not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, ideally, I think everyone, in terms of your wagering, you would expect, doesn't mean it will happen, but you would expect, once again, a Buffalo-Kansas City showdown, right?
Who's more susceptible not to show up there, in your opinion?
I don't think nobody doesn't show up.
In that game. Like, if it's a conference championship or playoff game, who's most likely to fall before they get to that point, Buffalo or Kansas City?
Historically, I'd say Buffalo. Historically. But that doesn't mean you figure with Buffalo, sooner or later, all the chips are going to finally fall in their favor. Good luck, good weather, injury,
but here's the
whatever.
Most important. Forget good luck, good weather, good health. When you're talking
of
about
course.
there's one elbow at Orchard Park that's come under a lot of scrutiny, and that's Josh Allen's throwing elbow.
More inconsistencies,
right? Yeah. And again, Josh Allen, for some parts of the Detroit game, looked like the rookie quarterback that was missing his targets, that was all over the field. Commentators made mention that they suspect an injury. Allen obviously is not 100%. But again, if you want to make a Super Bowl run with Josh Allen, he's got to be 100%. Don't you figure? He can't win with him missing targets and turning the ball over, right? He's got to play perfect.
If you're
ball.
picking today for Kansas City supremacy, for AFC supremacy, would you go Kansas City right now?
Man, I have a hard time going with Kansas City, because Buffalo, the football Buffalo Bills, went into Kansas City and beat that club.
But didn't that happen last year, regular season?
No, Kansas City got it. So Buffalo's gone into Arrowhead, right?
Yeah.
And beat that club. So for me, that matters, because obviously Kansas City won. You went in there and you beat the Dragon. You beat that club. So for me, right there, that puts Buffalo on a notch. But again, Buffalo might not even get there. You're talking about Miami, Buffalo, both 8-3. Miami's got the tiebreaker.
Well, right now, isn't Buffalo 0-2 in the division?
Buffalo, they're not as successful as they should be. I know they lost a tiebreaker to Miami, but they also get them in Orchard Park later this year, and
I thought that's what I'd see. It was 0-2. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
So you figure again that the stories in everything we've talked about, we're just watching them, and how they're going to play out during the course of the regular season and into the playoffs. That's why we tune in, right? We'll see. I'd predict the future right now, but I don't see it crystal clear. Here's what I do see. Last week, you were right on the money for once in your life with your Monday night pick. So I'm gonna give you a little rope to hang yourself. Tonight we got the Indianapolis Colts. At home as 2.5-point favorites. Hosting the Mike Tomlin-led Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got, Norm?
Well, I've got a lot of friends in Pittsburgh. It's a great sports town, but they're rebuild and a bunch of other things. So it's not a game I would have gone out of my way to watch. But as much as the Colts have been, I can't imagine living in Indianapolis with the Colts and their ups and downs. And really, it's been that way since Mr. Luck called it a career for the most part, right? Yeah, okay. I'm going to give the Colts, because both teams can frustrate the living daylights out of you. I'll give the Colts a field goal edge. Does that sound reasonable?
Fair enough, man. You heard it.
Would you go with that?
I said it's your pick, man. I keep my mouth shut, man. I haven't been too successful.
No, but is 3 points reasonable in that game?
Yeah. That's what I would set the line at. I'd take a break in the pick, and I'll save my exploits for next Sunday. Final word to you on obviously a big sporting weekend in obviously in this part of the world, and a couple words from Rumack on the Davis Cup and what.
Well, it's a great. I think we've anticipated it's been coming. I think I saw Shapovalov has been kind of like climbing the ladder for quite a few years. And now it looks like he's
in your history.
He gets compliments from some of the top players in the world. So it's like, it's been a nice, slow and steady progress. And, it'd be great to see Canada get to, we're talking about our women's soccer team has been dominant for a long time, the national team. The men's team is at least going in the right direction. They still need some additions.
I'm going to ask a different one. We'll take you out on this. In your illustrious career, has there ever been a time where you factor in everything? Canadian won a PGA Tour 2 weeks ago. So you're talking about the influx of players.
In diversity of elite level
in different sports. Has this been as good as Canada's had it when you take a look at?
Well, certainly tennis, we've had individual great players. I mean, you go back to when we had Carling Bassett.
Yeah,
right? But now, collectively, and it's certainly on the men's side as well. On the women's side, some of the players have run into injury problems, okay? But on the men's side, I don't know if we've ever had a collective group like at one time.
So we haven't had a collective group in tennis.
Individual great players.
We haven't had tennis. We haven't had golf. We haven't had footy. So in other words, it's a glorious time to be a Canadian.
Well, it's certainly trending in the right overall. It's trending in the right direction where Canada is getting more and more noticed on the world scale for a lot of different sports. Yeah.
So in other words, to tie a bow on this one, all we need is Canada's team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, to win a cup, and then everything's good.
Well, at least in Toronto, I don't know if that would. Well, the Leafs have a lot of fans in Western Canada, not so much in Quebec. And in the Maritimes, actually, in the Maritimes, a lot of the fans are Bruin fans because that's where they grew up in.
Yeah.
It's true. Nova Scotia.
Tell me that story. Tell me that story next week.
They're kind of split between the Maple Leafs, Canadians, and the Bruins. And obviously,
our plan was to turn this into a half-an-hour program, and it's 7:56 already.
Wow.
No matter what we do, time does fly, doesn't it, Rumack?
Oh, I really loved the Scream Fest we had on footy. That was awesome, Bill. That was an awesome Scream Fest.
Yeah?
I feel so much better now.
Do, eh?
Oh, yeah. It's like I got all that angst and anxiety out of my system.
Usually you get rid of that at the massage parlor, no?
I haven't, in all honesty, ladies and gentlemen. I value my rep. I've never been. I was sponsored by Strip Joints for 10 years, but I have never, ever, ever been to a massage parlor.
Have you ever been to have a nap?
I've had a nap, but not at have a nap.
On behalf of the good folks, on behalf of the loyal soldiers.
Don't forget to thank Jordan LaRoche, who's not had a nap during our show. He's never had.
On behalf of the Costa Classic, the good people at Costa Carpets for Life, and the Warriors up along Kingston Road.
And don't forget,
the bottom line, 22 Front Street, and
West.
all the Warriors along Kingston Road on a snowy, cold day at 12 o'clock midnight, man. God bless you. We'll see you next week.